Ice has been a massive problem for basically anybody who has even a modicum of sympathy and respect for human life. ICE has been going around terrorizing basically innocent people whose only crime is coming to the United States. We've all seen the footage of ICE firing, tear gas and other things right into children as parents were working in fields. Basically, just doing labor, not gang members, because gang members don't go out into fields and harvest crops. But not all is good inside of ICE. Reports are now coming out from ICE people themselves who are speaking out to media, particularly The Atlantic and to The Guardian, about how bad morale actually is inside the organization itself. Apparently, according to them, according to people who have spoken out from inside the organization itself, the daily quota of 3,000 arrests per day is so overwhelming for them that it's not something they can keep up with by actually going after known gang members, going after people who have committed serious offenses, and basically organizing raids on known criminals. It's just not possible given the complexity of setting up these kinds of raids. They couldn't keep up those kinds of numbers. So in order to get that number of 3,000 a day, they have to do things like raid Home Depot, raid farms, and places like that to go after people who very clearly are not criminals. They're literally just people working in often very terrible slave-like conditions. And apparently this is really wearing on them. It's getting really hard on them. It's difficult for them to keep up with this, and it's just terrorizing their morale. And the people who have spoken up, their morale is extremely low, and there's people quitting just because of the pressure and the unreasonable numbers that Stephen Miller is asking for in terms of these arrests. One lawyer who spoke to The Guardian did actually quit the organization because of the stress that's been going on. And he said there does need to be real lawyers for dealing with, real actual criminals and dealing with the actual, legal side of doing everything it is that ICE does. But because of the way that ICE is operating, he doesn't want to be there anymore. It's just not worth it to him. And that others do feel the same way. So it's not even just like the frontline people who are terrorizing migrants. There's also, the very highly skilled, highly paid, educated labor, the lawyers who are going through this kind of stress as well. And on top of this, the attack on the Texas ICE facility that took place on July 4th. This is a story that a lot of people are not aware of because the mainstream media didn't bother to cover it. And Fox News has covered it to some degree, but the rest of the mainstream media is just very, very quiet about this. A group of people organized with firearms did attack an ICE facility and shot a police officer in the neck. And there have been at least 10 arrests of people involved in this raid. So it was like literally an armed attack on ICE for, what it's been doing to the migrant community. And something that big, something that significant is not being broadcasted in the news. And apparently something like this happening is also wearing on them as well. I mean, it's you see how mad ICE gets if you throw one of their gas canisters back at them. So you can imagine what an armed attack on them would do. And something like this would stress them out even more. Now, I'm not suggesting that you feel sorry for ICE being stressed out by what's coming from above them, from Stephen Miller, etc. I'm saying the pressure that's being put on them, and the pressure that's being put on them by people who are protesting, who are pushing back, not necessarily saying people should go out and shoot ICE. I'm not suggesting the use of any violence like that, because that would be illegal. But the general protesting that's being done against ICE, the blocking them, the tow truck drivers that are following ICE around and waiting for them to park in a place that they shouldn't so they can tow their trucks away. All the general, protesting that has been done against them is placing pressure on them and is having an effect. If we increased that, made that bigger, did that more, it would place even greater pressure on the ICE agents and increase the amount of them that are actually quitting the job. So this is good in that it is sending the message that the pressure is having an effect. So the protests are accomplishing something. So this is good, and it's something that people should keep doing in order to fight this great injustice that's going on. This essentially Gestapo that's taking place inside of America. This is great. This is great news to show that ICE is not invincible. They're not invulnerable. They're people too, and they can break down just like everybody else.
Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.